All right, today we're going to unpack one of the biggest stories in the business world right now, the incredible, almost unbelievable rise of Dubai.
It really feels like every single week you hear about another billionaire, another tech startup, or some huge company packing up and setting up a base in Dubai. So what is going on? How did this city in the desert suddenly start outpacing giants like London, Mumbai, or New York? That's the huge question we're going to dig into today.
The answer isn't just one simple thing. It's a really deliberate, multi-layered strategy. And to really get it, we first have to understand something pretty fundamental that separates Dubai from all of its rivals. And it all starts with the calendar.
What's just so incredible is how young Dubai's modern market really is. I mean, you look at London or New York, their markets go back centuries. But Dubai's freehold property market, that's the market where foreigners can actually own property, that only started in 2002. Just think about that for a second. You literally cannot buy a property in Dubai that was built before then because this market just didn't exist for outsiders. It's barely an adult.
But here's the big twist. That newness, it isn't a weakness. It's actually the city's secret weapon. It means Dubai never had to deal with creaky old infrastructure or political systems that were set in stone or ancient laws that hold everything back. Nope, it got to start with a completely clean slate, designing itself from the ground up to win the 21st century.
Okay, so if you've got a blank canvas like that, what do you paint? What's the one single idea, the core principle behind every new skyscraper, every new regulation that Dubai puts into place?
This, right here, this is the key. If you forget everything else, just remember this one idea. The entire Dubai project is basically engineered to find the biggest headaches for the world's wealthiest people and global entrepreneurs, and solve them. And you know what they say, if you solve rich people's problems, they're more than happy to pay for the solution.
And this focus isn't just some vague mission statement. It's the engine behind a super detailed, meticulously executed business plan. So let's break it down and look at the specific solutions that Dubai is offering.
We can really group this whole strategy into 4 main pillars, and each one is designed to fix a very specific problem for its target customer.
So you've got the pro-business ecosystem, the very favorable tax regime, a totally unique kind of corporate-style governance, and then the cherry on top, the lifestyle package deal. Let's start with that ecosystem. So the first problem you have to solve for a global business person is friction, right? You've got to make it dead simple to operate, to travel, and to connect with the rest of the world. And Dubai's answer to that starts with basic geography.
Just take a look at this. From Dubai, you can get to 2/3 of the world's entire population in an 8-hour flight. A third of the planet is less than 4 hours away. For a global business, that kind of positioning is just about impossible to beat. You can connect with your teams in Europe, Asia, and Africa all in a single workday. But it goes way beyond geography. Dubai has systematically hunted down and eliminated bureaucratic red tape. You don't need a local partner to start a company anymore. You can hire the best people from anywhere on the planet with almost no fuss. And maybe the biggest deal of all? Once you're set up, the government pretty much lets you run your business your way. Okay, so they've made it easy to operate. That's problem 1, solved. The next problem is the big one, taxes. How do you make your city the most attractive place on the planet to park your money and grow it? Well, this is the answer. Now, a lot of people think Dubai is totally tax-free. It actually has a 9% corporate tax. But, and this is the genius of it, when you compare that to the 30, 40, or even 50% rates you'd be paying in other global hubs, suddenly 9% sounds absolutely fantastic. It's the kind of number that makes any CEO pay attention.
This brings us to the third pillar, and honestly, this might be the most revolutionary part of the whole thing. It's about how the city itself is actually managed. The leadership in Dubai has taken a completely different approach to governance.
Look at this comparison here. On one side, you've got your traditional government bureaucracy. You know how it is. It can be slow, really complex, and usually resists change. On the other side, you've got Dubai's corporate model. The government literally looks for pain points and asks, how can we do better? If a law needs to be changed to help the economy, they can do it tomorrow, not 5 years from now. That speed is a massive, massive advantage.
So you've got an easy place to do business, you get to keep more of your money, and the whole place is run with incredible efficiency. The final pillar ties everything together into a package that's pretty hard to resist, the quality of life.
This is the package deal. The infrastructure isn't just good, it's always being upgraded. Unlike, say, London, where a street can look the same for decades, if you visit Dubai after just a few years away, it feels like a totally different city. Add in the fact that it's one of the safest places in the world with amazing amenities, and you've got a lifestyle that is very, very hard to beat.
So the most important point to take away is this. Dubai's success is not just because of the low taxes. It's not just the location or the infrastructure or the business-friendly rules. It's the powerful combination of all of those things working together perfectly.
When you finally step back and you look at the whole picture, you realize Dubai hasn't just built a city. It has created an almost perfect value proposition for a very specific kind of person.
Just think about it for a second. It solves the problem of high taxes, it solves suffocating bureaucracy, it solves concerns about personal safety, and it solves the problem of slow, ineffective governments. For the global elite, this isn't just a nice place to live, it's a complete solution.
And that connects us all the way back to the question we started with. This comprehensive, strategic approach is exactly why so many of the world's richest and most ambitious people are no longer just visiting Dubai, they're making it their home base, their global headquarters.
It's a really bold and, you have to admit, a wildly successful experiment in building a city. Dubai has basically created a blueprint for a city as a service, one that's perfectly optimized for capital and talent. And that leaves us with a fascinating final thought. As other cities around the world struggle with their old infrastructure and political gridlock, is the Dubai model the new playbook for what it means to be a global city in the 21st century? We'll leave you to think on that one. Thanks for watching.